There's a lot of ideological so-called pillheads in society, especially right now. You got the red pill people, you got the blue pill people, you got black pillars that are basically just giving up and being nihilistic, men going their own way, femcells, sinks, single incomes, no kids, dinks, double incomes, no kids, dinkwads, double incomes, no kids with a dog. And then you got your white pills, everything's going to be alright, it'll just fix itself. And they all have granules of truth, but no one of these political compass positions actually have enough grains of sand to make a heap. They don't have enough pieces to actually build anything. And if they don't come together, they don't come together. It is what it is, but that's kind of what's going to happen for everything to start being tolerable again, you know? And a lot of people just pretty much throw tolerance at the problems, you know, in hopes it'll just be fine. But I think what really needs to happen in modernity is we need to be more intolerant. You know, if you're a man and you are putting in your time and you are struggling and you are engaging with assuming responsibility and fulfilling your male role in society and in a relationship, you need to be entirely intolerant of disrespect from women. You don't need to tolerate that stuff for 5 seconds. Like, don't even. Women either respect you and are working alongside you to build something together, or they're not. Simple as. Women, if you are pushing towards being what Kevin Samuels refers to as FBI and DEA, feminine, beautiful, inspirational, disciplined, exuberant, and aspirational, if you're actually doing what you ought to, you don't need to tolerate disrespect from men, and you don't need to tolerate things that are below your standards. Now, having said that second part, you know, regarding women, a lot of women drastically overestimate where they stand in the scheme of things. The vast majority of women are completely average, and they just don't accept that they are completely average. They're delusional. Well, guess what, honey? You're not disciplined if you're not living in reality. So if you think you're something that you aren't, you need to be disciplined. And if you can't be beautiful, you can still be feminine, you can still be inspirational, you can still be disciplined, you can still be exuberant, and you can still be aspirational. There are completely average-looking women out there that, if they have all their other ducks in a row, are pretty high value and can find themselves with a great man. Now, is that great man going to be like a rapper or a sports star or some other celebrity or highly wealthy individual? No. 90% of women are not going to have access to those types of men. And access is not sex. If they have sex with you, you don't have access to them. You just got ran through. You're a skeet receptacle. What needs to happen, simple, is that men need to work long hours. You need to learn how to spend less money throughout the week. Pack your lunch, meal prep. Don't be just blowing your entire weekly paycheck on daily needfuls. Get less vices, get less hobbies, get less habits, and get more busy. You have money to be saving. The economy is in the shitter. You're going to have to work 60 hours just to have what people made in 40 hours like 5 years ago. That's tough. It's not fair, but neither is life. You got to do what you got to do. You better be saving money. Don't do stupid things with your money. The whole end goal for you is to get a home. And it is very doable. It's just not going to be fun or easy, and it's going to take time. If you're in your early 20s and you watch a video like this, it's going to take you something like 20 years to get a house. And you'll still be paying on it at the end of that 20 years. You might only start your mortgage in 20 years from now. But it is doable. That's what your goal is. You need to have the nest so that you can woo the female, bring her back to your nest, and mate with her. Alright? Don't worry about the female until you have a nest. I promise you that at 50 years old, it is not unreasonable nor irrational to go hunting for a girl in her 20s. Whatever society might tell you, whatever social media tells you, which you shouldn't even be on social media, it's trash. It's rotting your brain, just like candy rots your teeth. Ask me how I know about that one. Get off social media and go to work. You have a lot of work to do. You better learn how to dress yourself too. Like, I don't think you need to go to an image consultant for you to get it through your skull that you need to learn what business casual is, and that should basically be your lowest tier of getting dressed. Like, if you're not wearing your uniform, you're not going to work, you need to learn how to wear a button-up shirt or a partial button polo with a collar. You need to, learn what slacks are and khakis are. You need to stop being too casual. You need to present yourself, even on your day off, as someone to be taken seriously. You need to dress like how you want to be treated. You should probably get yourself a nice watch. It doesn't have to be an expensive watch. I mean, you can get nice watches for like $100 that are high quality and make you look like a serious individual. And then you need to get off the sneaker game. You need to get off that shit. If you're not playing basketball, you shouldn't be wearing basketball shoes. That is the most retarded thing anybody's ever seen. You need to learn how a belt works. There's a lot of things you got to learn. And you don't have a lot of time to learn it either. And it's going to suck, I know it is, but you're going to have to forfeit a lot of personal time. A lot of you don't want to hear that, but just come to peace with it and roll it. That's men. That's what you have to do. You have to work, you have to be presentable, you have to dress like an adult, you have to behave like one, you have to make it possible for people to mistake you for an adult, and heaven forbid, become one day. There's people in their 30s that's not getting this message. Good luck with you. And just to end the male segment of this little rant, you're so much better off to just go blue collar and stay out of the college and the white collar and all that shit. You're about to assume a lot of debt in your life, getting a vehicle, getting a home. The last thing you need is frivolous debt in the form of a college degree that may or may not even make you any money. Just go to work. Like, get on a construction site. I promise you, 5 or 6 years of being a grunt, you're going to be eligible for being something like a foreman. And if you want to get a trade certificate in welding or plumbing or electrical and become an apprentice, once you get to the point where you can do these things without supervision from your boss, and you know how all the specs are, you know how to read blueprints, you know what building code is for your area, you can get your own small business and be self-employed and work as much or as little as you want. Ideally, you're working more, not less, and pocketing a vast majority of what you're charging your customers. And if you grow, you can get employees, or you can go the other route and become a foreman, and then eventually a general contractor. You can be a general contractor either way, whether you go to work for yourself or you're working for somebody else. And then you can do crews. You can take on large projects like building an entire house and then have different crews, or learn how to hire and work external crews. But management experience is not something you need to worry about until you can do the whole job yourself. Because when people quit or you fire them, you're going to have to do the whole job yourself. So you better learn how to do the whole job yourself before you start thinking about telling other people what to do. Just my advice. Just something to consider, guys. Women, let's come over to you. Alright? You need to get out there and take some walks. You need to go touch grass. You need to get out into the world. You need to be used to being out in public and acting like you're not an idiot. You need to take the fucking bonnet off your head. Alright? You need to stop walking out in pajamas and slippers. And you need to start dressing presentable, even to go check your mail. You can't be carrying on like the way you've been carrying on. You gotta get off social media. You gotta do it. You shouldn't even be on there in the first place. That shit's rotting your brain, damaging your mental capacity to parse what to expect from men and from society at large. It's spoiling your capacity to understand what reality is and where you fit into it. Most of you, again, like I said earlier, are perfectly average. And there's nothing wrong with being average. What's wrong is being average and living in this mental delusion that you're not average. You're something better. You're not. I'm perfectly average. I'm what an average guy is. I got a car note. I'm living in an apartment. Me and my girlfriend are kind of just barely making it work. I'm currently living paycheck to paycheck because I haven't been on this new job long enough to catch up with my bills. And even once I'm 2 months ahead, I'm still perfectly average. I make median income for my area in Florida. Okay, so I'm not making too much or too little. I'm just making median income. It's not great. I'm barely able to put anything back, and I'm just kind of floating, treading water right now. I got credit card debt. I got bad teeth. So this is what an average guy is. Now, I would be a little further along in the game if I had not spent my 20s getting stoned, being homeless, and running away from my problems, and I would have got, you know, some help sooner as far as like addressing some things that happened to me as a young person and what that did to my head. But now that I've kind of confronted a lot of that, I'm a little more constructive. I never got into heavy drugs or anything like that. I beat myself up for, you know, all throughout my 20s. I basically just beat the hell out of myself, had shit self-esteem, didn't allow myself to take any opportunities. Now here I am, almost 40. I'm going to be 40 this year, and I'll be lucky to pay off my car in January of 2026. It's my final payment, and 2 years after that, I'll finish paying off all my credit card debt, and I'll be kind of back to where I started before all that hit the fan. This is an average man. This is what a lot of you are going to look forward to. It's okay to expect an average man with good teeth. If the average man worked through his 20s and his 30s, he should have money enough to have good teeth. That's okay. And you deserve a man with good teeth if you can find one. But you girls, you worry about how tall a man is. You worry about how physically fit he is. You worry about if he's got good teeth or not. And you guys are just falling apart at the seams. You're fat, you're lazy, you're cranky, you're confrontational, you're argumentative. No. Just no. Your role in finding a man is being what a man wants. That's, if you want to get a good man, where all the good man at, you have to be what a good man prefers. You need to be agreeable. You need to cooperate with your man. You need to not argue with him ever in public. You know, if you want to have, you know, debates about what's best to do for the household, what's best to do for the relationship when you're at home alone, maybe. But the first thing a man needs to hear and see when he gets off work and comes home, tired, filthy, hurting, is you, happy to see him, welcome home, honey, and if he asks you for dinner, at least more days than not throughout the week, you should have him dinner. That's not to say every day, you know, things happen. You might have a job too. You're probably working as well, because you're both average. Average income doesn't go very far if one person's working. But more days than not in the week, he should come home to dinner. And you should say, welcome home, honey, I love you. And then you need to get out of his face and let him decompress. You just spent, I don't even know how long in a shift, eating shit so that both of you can be more comfortable. His job is going to be more hard than yours. You need to accept that. I don't care how mentally taxing it is talking to the girls at the office. His job is harder than yours. So you need to be exuberant, which is to say, always happy to see your man. Basically the way your dog, I know a lot of you women have had dogs, the way your dog acts when you get home, how excited he is to see you or she is to see you, you don't need to take it to that level because you're not a dog, you're a human being, but you understand what I'm saying. You need to be pleased to see your man when he comes home, and then you need to give him space. Give him a kiss, ask him if there's anything you can do to help him take his boots off, whatever, and then let him have his head for a little while. And then you need to spend some time with him, you know, before you guys go to sleep and do it all again tomorrow. You know, you should have one of the 7 days a week, at least half of a day dedicated towards each other. And then the rest of it, you know, you guys got to figure that out. Every relationship's different. Every couple's different. People are unique. You need to find your jam. You also need to be aspirational, women. You need to aspire to be self-improving. You're not perfect. Neither is he. You need to be improving yourself every day. Part of improving yourself is being agreeable. Again, stop arguing all the fucking time. Stop fighting. Stop just, you know, like, oh, well, actually, honey, actually. Don't be correcting your man. Don't do that. Never tell a man how he feels. I'm going to tell you right now. Any man, you don't take my word for any of the things that you're hearing today. Men or women, don't take my word for it alone. Go out there and talk to people. Ask any man. You never tell a man how he feels, because he's going to tell you how he feels if he thinks it's necessary for you to know. Sometimes a man doesn't want you to know how he feels because he feels like shit and he doesn't want to share the misery. He's trying to be strong for you, to lift you up, and then you're bringing both of you down by getting into the feeling shit with a man. You can tell him how you feel. That's fine. Don't you ever tell a man how he feels. Alright? And then once you women are off social media, you read some books or something, find a decent hobby that doesn't make you insufferable. Go out, be social, learn social skills, learn how to work alongside a man. Both of you need to go sign up for matchmaking service. It costs money. Yes. So men, don't get into a matchmaking service until you have enough money to have your own place. You're not living with anybody. All right, you're in a position financially where a woman moving in with you is acceptable, and you can make that work. Okay, and you probably should go talk to a therapist just to kind of see if your ducks are all actually in a row. You can't tell yourself if you're all fucked up or not. You need help from a third party to kind of get some perspective on like where you're at. Go talk to a therapist, make sure you're good to go. I needed to, and I still need to, but I'm not everybody. So you might go to a therapist for a couple months and realize, you know what, you're not that bad. That's fine. You know, everybody shouldn't be in therapy all the time. That's weird. But you should check in with a mental health professional just to make sure that you don't have any ridiculous retarded baggage, so that when you do get in a relationship, you don't just destroy it right off the bat. That's for men and women. All right, but men, you got your ducks in a row. You're ready for a woman to move in with you. You got your finances okay for that. You went and checked in with a therapist to make sure that you're not just an insufferable asshole. All right. Now you're going to need to talk to an image consultant so that you know how to present yourself, both in speech, presentation, visibly, and with smell. You probably want to have a nice cologne or something like that. And you want to learn how to dress and how to talk so that you attract the right people and you can be taken seriously. And then the image consultant will also tell you things that you can do to go out and interact with high-value people. Because as you hang out with whoever you hang out with is who you're going to be like. Let's put it like that. If you hang around the barbershop, you're going to get a haircut. So an image consultant will make suggestions in places where you can frequent, like maybe like a men's club of some kind or something like that, where you can kind of rub elbows with high-quality people and talk about high-quality things and be part of a high-quality life. This is important for you to grow. Because, you know, if you want to really be successful, it's not only partially about money, it's also about your social circles. And then once you're done with that, last but not least, you sign up for matchmaking service. It costs you money. But you've done the work. You've put in long days and nights being your best self. You're in a position where you cannot be messing around with dating apps and running through women and suffering barflies and picking up girls and with her ass hanging out of her shorts in a bar and trying to make a wife out of a hoe. No, just go to matchmaking service. Women, are you disciplined? Are you living a productive life? You're probably working if you're single. That's totally okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, a man does not give a shit about your money. What he cares about is what you bring to the table. Are you going to support your man? Are you going to be disciplined enough to keep the house in order financially and physically, you know, cleaning up? Are you willing to wash your man's skivvies? Are you willing to wash dishes? Are you going to support your man when there's something that comes up in your social circle where, like, you know, are you in your man's corner or are you in everybody else's corner? Because if you're not in your man's corner, you're wasting your time being with that man. Are you worth an average man? Because most women aren't even worth an average man. You're hoes. And hoes don't deserve anything. You deserve what you get, and what you get is what you get. You know, are you single with kids? I'm sorry. Maybe you can get with somebody in some kind of functional marriage of just convenience after your kids are grown up and moved out. But your man didn't stay. I'm sorry about that. Maybe he passed away. Maybe you're a widow. I'm sorry about that. You got to sleep in the bed you're living in. And just go with it. For those of you women who have your affairs in order that didn't go have kids by different men or have no kids while you're single, and you know you're in your 20s, you need to go talk to a therapist, make sure all your ducks in a row, make sure you're not a neurotic garbage can. You need to go talk to an image consultant to teach you how to dress like a woman instead of like a slut. Alright? And you need to get in women's groups, just like men need to get in men's groups. You know, if you're going to be a high-value woman, you need to have a high-value social circle. You need to get into hobby groups and clubs that are going to cultivate good women traits inside of you. And then you get on matchmaker service, and it's going to cost you money. All of that's going to cost you money. Therapists are going to cost you money. Being part of women's social functions for, you know, healthy mental, like women in healthy mental states, that's probably going to cost you some kind of money. The image consultant's definitely going to cost you money. But these are things. You need to become what a man wants. And an average blue-collar man making median income is fine for most of you. If you're a little overweight, that's not the end of the world. It's okay to have flaws. But a little overweight is not 360 pounds. You know, if you're 5'4" and you're like 180 pounds, okay, well, you should probably be working on that, but that's not going to keep you out of the market. An average man will have you if you're overweight, if you're working on the weight, if you're agreeable and you're not argumentative, if you're not an absolute, well, let's just call it, if you're not a total bitch, an average man will have you, even if you're overweight. My girlfriend is overweight. She's more than a little overweight, and I would not trade her for anybody. I would argue that one of her only flaws is her weight, and so it's very okay for me to contend with the fact that she's overweight, because she's a damn good woman in almost every other way you can think of. We're working on the weight thing together. I'm doing what I can to be supportive of her dealing with that. Alright? You cannot be out here being choosy about men when you have nothing to offer them. And the only thing men want from you is not your money. It's not your kids through other men. It's not your snatch, because they'll have that anyways if you're with them. It's your behavior. They want somebody that's going to be supportive. They want somebody that's going to work alongside them, who's going to be patient with them in sickness and in health. It's just, go look up the standard wedding vows for a Protestant marriage. Just go look at the standard vows in sickness and in health and poverty and wealth. Read that and actually meditate upon what those words actually mean. Because when you go to be with a man in a permanent relationship, presumably you're going to get married, you need to understand what those vows are, and you need to know what you're agreeing to. Don't just click agree without reading the contract. Alright? Don't just say I do without knowing what you're signing up for, because you're expected to live up to that. It's ridiculous that the West allows it and makes it legal for you to divorce. Once you're in, you're in. You're committed. It's a good thing if you're not full of shit. And that goes for the men too, but mostly for you ladies, because y'all are the ones making all the divorces happen. Well, he was mean to me. He's toxic. Well, are you coming at him? Are you his peace when he comes home? Are you his peace, or are you just coming at him as soon as he gets home? Be honest. Be real. You guys need to focus on yourselves and get yourselves squared away and get right, and then you need to use matchmaker services. No more dating apps. None of that shit. I met my girlfriend doing karaoke. It was kind of a rare thing, and we're a little atypical. We're more of a, how would you say, an outlier than the norm. So you can't really look at us and say that, like, we're what you can expect to encounter. But that's my advice. I made a short before I made this, and this little rant is for y'all. Don't be a pillhead. Don't be a red pill, black pill, blue pill, white pill, like none of that shit. Just work on yourself, get your shit together. Get your shit together and just go make a life with somebody. All right? And if you're a really good woman, like, and I don't mean high value, I just mean if you're a good human being, you'll go to an average man while he's still building up his wealth, while he's still building up his success, and you'll get with him in his early years and his formative years of his journey, and you'll do it together. And honestly, if you are willing to work with a man who's not successful yet, he will be more successful than if you did it alone, and it'll happen faster for both of you, and you'll actually be in a better place far quicker. But if you want to wait and get with a man who's, successful, and I'm not talking about a millionaire or six figures or all that stupid conceited nonsense. I'm talking about, he's got a house for you to live in and a place for you to have your kids and raise them. Like, if you want to get with a man that's already made, then you need to really, 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 really be your best self. And again, just because you're your best self doesn't mean you're not average, ladies. Most of you are average. Just go find yourself a blue-collar man. He's not going to take you traveling 3 times a year. You guys aren't going to be driving luxury vehicles. He's not going to buy you a G-Wagon. You're going to be driving a Corolla or a Camry or a brand new Sentra or one of those god-awful Hondas or something like that. That's what you get. You're average. It's not a bad thing. What's bad about it is wanting shit that you can't have. God, just imagine every day you wake up and don't win the lottery, it's a bad day. Just imagine that mentality. That's where you women are at, and that's why you're so fucking miserable. It's not men doing this to you, it's you. It's your unhealthy expectations. Just take what you have and be appreciative for it. Just stop being such a bitch. God, so many of you women are just bitches. Stop it. Get some help. And then go find you an average man and live happily ever after. Jesus Christ. I promise you, once you got 3 or 4 kids, like, you're not going to be worried about, comparing yourself to the Joneses next door. If you're driving a new car, no matter what it is, you're driving a new car. All right? God, you should be so lucky as to be happy as your parents were. And it's not the society that's going to keep you from being that happy. It's you. It's all in your head. You need to just come out of it and just get some fucking sanity up underneath you. And it starts with getting off of social media. I don't even know how healthy YouTube is, but goddamn, you should not be on Instagram. You shouldn't be on any of the medias. If you're on TikTok, you need to delete that shit tonight, as soon as you get off work, because I'm assuming you women ought to be at work, and I hope you're not watching this while you're at work. Get off of TikTok. Get off of Instagram. Get done with it. Delete Snapchat. Wipe it. No more filters for you. And easy on the makeup too. A lot of you ladies look like fucking clowns. With your fake ass hair and your fake ass face. You're not gonna get an above average man, because you're not above average. You're average. So stop trying to act like you can paint yourself 3 points higher on the sexual market value scale. If you're a 4 or a 5, you're a 4 or a 5. All that shit you put on did not make you a 6 or a 7. And ain't no man looking at you, seeing you, and confusing you for a 6 or 7. You're just a 4 or 5 dressed like a fucking clown. So knock it off. Put on some lip gloss, do something with your eyes, and call it a day. Exfoliate. You think there's anything I can do with my face to make me anything other than average? I could dye my beard. And if I shave my beard, I look a little younger, but I mean, I don't look bad, but I'm not a pretty boy either. I'm not handsome. I'm not ugly, but I'm not a fucking model. And neither are you. So, don't throw stones in a glass house, whore. Alright, I'm gonna get off here. I hope you guys really think about this shit. I mean, seriously.